JRD Tata was not just a great businessman and a business mogul, he was a tireless supporter of the sports. And some of the things he's done has given results to India even today. The Tata Football Academy was something that he started and that has provided more than 30 international footballers to India. And he picked football because he knew it was a sport where a lot of kids could play. It was a resource poor sport, the kind of sport that India needed. And other than that, what did he back tirelessly? Archery. Archery has always been backed by the Tata since JRD Tata's time because he believed that that's the one sport which the tribals would really enjoy and could really excel at. Archery, football, and then to a certain extent hockey, again a very, very tribal sport, are the kind of things that JRD Tata did to support and give sport to the people around him and the people who lived around Jamshedpur. Amazing man.
On 29 July, 117 years ago, Ratanji Dadabhoy Tata was impatiently wandering the corridor next to the labor room of a Paris hospital as his French wife Suzanne was giving birth. A nurse handed him a baby and said, "Congratulations, here is your bundle of joy." Little did the parents know that one day their son, named Jehangir Ratanji Dadabhoy, now famously known as JRD Tata, would be awarded the Bharat Ratna, Jewel of India, the highest civilian honor, and become, among other pioneering achievements, India's first licensed pilot. JRD Tata attended educational institutions in France, Japan, England, and Mumbai, then known as Bombay. JRD also served in the French army before graduating. His military experience inculcated self-discipline, selfless service, commitment, courage, and integrity in the young man. Thus, JRD's leadership skills allowed the Tata Group to do the right thing for the country. In 1930, JRD Tata married Thelma Vikaji. When buses and trains were scarce in the 1930s, people traveled by horse-drawn carriages or bullock carts. Letters and mail from the West arrived only by air to Karachi. It was a Herculean task to deliver mail from Karachi to all the corners of the country. JRD bought 2 small planes and set up the Tata Mail Company to transport mail from Karachi to Mumbai, Madras, now known as Chennai, and Ahmedabad. On 17th October 1932, he flew his first flight from Karachi to Bombay. That Tata Mail was transformed into Tata Airlines. By the time of nationalization in 1948, the airline's name had changed to Air India. Despite being nationalized, JRD continued to head the airlines until 1978, leading Air India to profitability. JRD Tata was the founder of Tata Memorial Hospital, Tata Tea, Titan, Tata Airlines, now known as Air India, Voltas, Tata Consultancy Services, Tata Motors, and Tata Chemicals. He also laid the foundations and successfully led many research and educational institutions such as Tata Institute of Social Sciences, National Center for Performing Arts, National Institute of Advanced Sciences, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, and the Indian Institute of Science. His vision and management skills were recognized globally, and many honors were conferred upon him, including the International Man of Management Award in the year 1953. As a corporate innovator, Tata modernized personal management, which helped shape the organization's strategic direction. Among other progressive initiatives, JRD incentivized the workforce by introducing various welfare schemes to invigorate less enthusiastic employees. Today, adherence to employee welfare policies is now legally required of employers in both the public and private sectors. However, much to his credit, JRD voluntarily introduced a plethora of employee welfare schemes and raised ethical standards in the workplace before official reforms took place. JRD was the first Indian businessman and Tata Group the first Indian company to introduce a provident fund, medical services, maternity benefits, gratuities, accident insurance schemes, and the 8-hour shift. The Indian government later emulated his voluntary reforms, introducing the Employees State Insurance Scheme of India, the Factories Act 1948, and the Employees Provident Funds and Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1952. To many Indians, the Tata Group symbolizes charity, trust, and good ethics. Not many companies outside the Tata Sons or the Tata Group even come close to that front. The plague, cholera, smallpox, and polio devastated every country globally during the 1940s. Imagine setting up a cancer hospital in 1941 unless the person had foresight. But this visionary set up the Tata Memorial Hospital, the first of its kind in Asia. The majority of practicing oncologists in India have been trained at the Tata Memorial Hospital. JRD started plowing Tata Group's profits into charitable and nation building activities. The Tata Group contributes a lion's share of the Corporate Social Responsibility Fund. The Tata Group's annual contribution to CSR is estimated to be $200 million. JRD's philanthropic activities have made a real difference to the lives of several Indians. His contribution to the noble causes influenced India's industrial development and fueled its economic growth. JRD Tata was the first man to espouse family planning. Soon after independence, when JRD raised with Prime Minister Nehru the importance of curbing the population of estimated that India's population would double in 50 years, JRD wasn't really far off the mark. It indeed doubled in 40 years. He founded the Family Planning Association of India and pursued a campaign to promote family planning for decades. In 1956, JRD established the International Institute of Population Studies in Mumbai to serve as a center for teaching, training, and research. For all his efforts, he received the UN Population Award in the year 1992. Tata is the first industrialist to have received India's highest civilian honor, the Bharat Ratna, in 1992. JRD Tata died in Geneva on 29 November 1993. His services to India will forever be remembered by his countrymen and serve as a source of inspiration for several future generations.
It was in 1925 that Bharat Ratna JRD Tata joined the Tata Group as an apprentice and was chosen as its group chairman in 1938. Mr. JRD Tata led this amazing institution for 5 long decades, building on its legacy and contributing to its enviable growth. Under his inspiring leadership, the Tata Group multiplied manifold. Mr. JRD Tata, an industrialist, entrepreneur and a leader par excellence, continued to build on the legacy, founding several industries, creating enterprises such as Tata Motors, TCS, Titan, Air India, Tata Salt and more, growing the group assets from around 100 billion to over $5 billion under his chairmanship. His abiding commitment to education, his ability to create institutions from scratch like Indian Institute of Science, Tata Institute of Social Sciences have reflected his overarching philosophy on the importance of education. Mr. Tata was a true leader of people and a deep believer of employee welfare, espousing people principles well ahead of its time. His introduction of an 8-hour working day, free medical aid, provident scheme, workmen's accident compensation, and other such schemes were great practices, embracing a people philosophy that he articulated and was adopted by the governments as a statutory requirement much later. Mr. JRD was deeply committed to India and its people and had evocatively observed, "I want to see India not as a superpower, but as a country of happy people." Mr. JRD Tata, a true legend, continues to inspire us as an exceptional leader and a role model for generations to come. Thank you.
The best impression and the best memory I have, JRD has been extremely simple, very elegant but humble, and he has never demonstrated in that entire visit anything called status, anything called the sort of industrialist he was. I think if I have learned anything from the Tatas, it is the fact that achievers get a lot more respect inwardly by being humble. I would say, revered JRD sir, we learnt a lot from you. God bless Tatas, God bless Tata Industries, God bless Tata Sons, God bless the word Tata. Thank you.